I grew up in the city in St. Louis. My parents were actually separated when my mom found out she was pregnant with me. And then, so I was raised by my mom, my stepdad mostly. My biological father, we got to see sometimes a week or two in the summer, but that was about it. He was married and divorced, I think, either 8 or 9 times. Nobody's really sure. I knew 6 of them. So it wasn't a very good example of marriage.
I was raised by my mother and father, and my father, he was a good father when he wasn't drinking, but when he was drinking, he was very abusive and wasn't such a good father then. My parents got divorced when I was 18, I think, and he was married 3 other times after my mother, and then she remarried too. So I didn't have a real good idea of what marriage was supposed to be like. And then I met Steve, and I just fell in love with him just right away. And we spent all of our time together. I mean, we were in love. We were in love. And
when I met Colleen, I felt she was the one that I could share my life with. We became really good friends before we accidentally said we loved each other. Mm-hmm. I think I said it first on the phone. She said, "I love you too." And I'm like, I don't know where that came from, but I remember that day. Do you remember that?
I do.
It's so funny.
We had only really known each other, I mean, for 3 months. Then we moved in together, and within 3 months after that, we got married. I mean, so it was all very fast. We had our son, he was our first one, and we poured everything that we had into him. And then we had our oldest daughter, and we poured everything and we were pouring everything into our children and nothing into our marriage.
I felt that she didn't like me, didn't love me, and wasn't attracted to me.
Our relationship was kind of off and on all the time. I mean, it would hit high points and then it would go low again. I mean, we weren't equipped with what we needed to make our marriage successful. We didn't know what to do.
We're not equipped to hear the truth from one another.
It was a Monday, and I was home all day. I was cleaning house and had dinner ready, and Steve came home from work, and he just dropped a bomb on me.
I had had an affair, and I went to the church, came to Life Fellowship, and started counseling with Pastor Stefan. And this was not the first time. There were multiple affairs over the last several years.
I was not even functional. I remember going to the bathroom at work and just shutting the lights off and just laying on the floor at work and just crying. And my boss, she came in and she picked me up off the floor and she said, "It's okay, I have you." And I called my daughter and I asked her to get a hold of Kathy Board because I just knew that that's who I needed to talk to at the time. And I started talking to Kathy and telling her everything that he told me. And she said, "Now, Colleen," she said, "you made a covenant with God, and God takes covenants seriously." And I knew she was right. And I knew exactly what I had to do at that time. I had to find a way to forgive him, and I had to find a way to make our marriage work. I watched him over the next several months, and he was changing, and he was becoming the man that I needed him to be. And then Stefan suggested that we go to Reengage. So we went to our first meeting, and it was with Rick and Brenda Fox, and they were so loving. They taught us through this program how to communicate with one another and how to forgive one another and how to show grace to one another and all the things that we needed to make our marriage successful.
I feel like we have a real open dialogue now that we probably never had.
And our marriage is good now. Our marriage is good now because Christ is at the center of it. We can talk about anything and not get angry with one another. And we want to be around one another now. That's the thing about Reengage, is because you don't have to tell him everything. You don't have to tell him everything. But if you do, they're still going to love you. And if you put in the time and you do the work, you're going to come out of there just, it's going to be so beautiful. I mean, and just everything changes.